You're listening to the Real Estate Radio Hour, the show that brings you unfiltered stories and insight from the Twin Cities real estate world with your hosts, Chris Rooney, broker at RE/MAX Preferred, and Andy Presky, leader of the Preferred Home Team at RE/MAX Advantage Plus.
What up, fellers?
Trying to get some work done here. Here you guys pop up.
We try to get you focused once a week.
I tell you, I've had to focus quite a bit this week.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy again.
What are you focusing on, Chris?
Real estate sales.
What kind of sales?
Just lots of different things. It's interesting. I am working on it's kind of a new business, nice maybe development opportunity right now. It's kind of cool. It's for a client of mine, young guy.
Yeah.
Kind of getting started in something that's pretty darn cool. So
nice.
Can't talk too much about it, but it's in the works. Maybe once it's done, I'll tell you, Andy.
That's a great story, Chris. Stories with mystery and missing parts are always the best way to pull in the listeners and the viewers.
I know. And then not say anything else about it. But as realtors, that's what we have to do.
It's like interviewing somebody in the CIA. It's like, oh, that's good for you.
Yeah. And then Nick's in the favela. So whatever a favela is, that's where Nick is.
When you think of Brazil, you think of favela. All the houses packed in together. So my Wi-Fi is a little spotty. Hopefully it stays clean, but I'll kind of be in the background.
Wow. Well, Andrew, what do you think? Market.
I also agree with you. I have had a very fruitful week. Lots of not only existing homes coming on the marketplace that are up and coming. But the market's starting to wake up a little bit. New construction, the parade of homes has been very busy, and so not much you can do other than pray for that, because that's really the front edge of the consumer. I kind of consider new construction to be kind of like RVs, like when the RVs slow down in sales and the economy follows, and so that was one of those things where we've been watching our new construction branch really closely, and we're still seeing orders coming in. We're seeing more people preferring to buy inventory homes that are already built so they can lock in on rates than to order. But, we're still getting about 40% of our business coming in as orders. So that's good, right? I mean, that's, somebody that believes in the future, because that's a 12-month closing from today. So
how do you judge it against like last fall? I don't have a spring preview model this year, so I'm not.
Last fall was really slow for us. Last spring was very equivalent.
Okay.
I would say it felt right now it feels kind of like last year.
Okay.
So, which is shocking to us because we had such a slow summer. I mean, I don't think people realize, because how do you trust the media anyway? But the new construction orders were very, very slow this summer. A lot of cancellations were happening, lots of reconfiguring plans to get, the house that somebody qualified on at 3%. Now you're at 6 or 7. And how do they adjust? And then, what'll be interesting is when some of these rates are bouncing around, and they did kind of a rate increase, if you will, yesterday. So it'll be interesting to see, how that affects the buyers even this weekend. Because it's like we're right on the front edge of that knife. You know what I mean?
Hopefully it's the last time, though. There's a little talk about that. There's a hint to that it might be the last time they're going to hit it. So,
yep.
All right. So here's what we found in February, Mr. Andy.
Yep.
8190 for homes for sale. So that has gone up since year over year, 10%, which is surprising. I think that was all kind of towards the end of that month. Median sale price continues to go up 3.4% to 315. Yep. Days on market. That's always an interesting one, but it's a fact, and I see that. And It's not for every house, but I mean, that's on average 53 days. And then closed sales are way down from last February, 22% down.
Doesn't shock me at all.
Inventory up, sales down. What's it tell you? You just got to start watching inventory. We keep talking about inventory all the time, and that's
there's definitely some markets you're starting to see. Like I was watching this morning a video earlier on the hot markets right now that are most subjective to cooling, and no shocker, a lot of it was around California and Florida, Arizona, all these hot markets, Las Vegas, that they feed up really fast and built on speculation and false data. As I say, it's not false when it's happening, but when you look back at it and you go, oh, that was a surge of investors, or that was a whatever. So it's not a normal business cycle per se, but maybe that's the new norm. I mean, these investors are really influencing a lot of these markets, but now you look at jobs. So now a lot of these tech companies are starting to lay people off like crazy. Well, that's called kind of a forced sale, where these people don't necessarily want to sell, but they can't afford a $1.4 million house in San Francisco if they don't have a job to support that. So you're starting to see some of that coming on. I mean, there's some markets that inventories are up quite a bit and prices are softening because there's that panic. That forced sale becomes more of a panic sale, like I just want to get out of here and move home. So I've been living in California for so many years doing my job. Now I want to move back to Brooklyn Center, wherever, or Minnetonka, and they sell there and move back here. They're still up hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're very happy, but on paper it looks like a skid, right? So then people start, hey, did you see that? And it's like, come on. I mean, they're still up $500,000 in like 4 years in value on that house that they bought. So, the
other thing that rivals inventory is consumer confidence, and I just think it's really getting weird now. No one knows what to believe, what's happening, what are they doing. It's just like people are a little skittish with that too.
Yeah,
it's just kind of a weird little spot. But I'll tell you, we listed 3 last week, and one sold right away. One's really close to it. The other one is, in a spot where, hey, it's not a lot of stuff happening. This week, kind of got the same thing. We're probably gonna sell one of them before it even hits on the market tomorrow.
Yep.
Another one that's coming soon that has got 3 or 4 showings set up in a higher price point. And then the other one is something that, should go really, really fast. So
good.
I don't know. It's a weird, when you talk price points, $275 to, $499 to $775.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, no, and you're right. And I think that, I look at like my team, I think they listed like 8 houses this week and had everything went up and went right back down. I mean, it was up for sale and sold, multiple offers, when it was under that 400. We just had one that we listed at 500. That went up, that went down right away too. So that, it's people need to move on with life. Their timing isn't going to wait because of an economy. Their timing might be right now. Their timing is, we need that extra office in the house. We need that extra bedroom for the baby, whatever it is, or mom and dad now are moving in, or the college kids are moving home, or whatever. And they just need the space.
True. Stat boy from Favela has got some more here. So that's kind of what do we got here? That's February. Yeah. Change in okay, so now we're down to the 13 county Twin Cities region. So new listings, it says, are down almost 25%. Sales are down 20%, and median price went up. Look at the average sale price, Andy.
Mm-hmm.
Over 400 is kind of interesting, and price per square foot. I want to talk a little bit about that. How often, obviously in the building world, that's kind of a big thing that people use. But from a market analysis standpoint, do you see that a lot on your end of the world up there in Champlain area?
It depends. Depends on, are we talking about townhouses that are all in a row and you're the only one that has the extra bump out and then it does make a difference? Are you talking about the where everybody on the same street has the blueberry model and there's only one strawberry model. And so the blueberries kind of dictate where your values are at. So, you know, I don't know. I think that per square foot is an interesting number because where I look at per square foot, Chris, is above ground. So when you look at like 2 stories, this is a perfect example. We live in an $800,000 2-story. And I go, okay, well, let's take a look at the size of the foundation. Let's look at how many square feet you have up. And what's interesting is houses are not as valuable when they have a small main floor and the big upstairs. They're just not. They're not as, because then that means you get a small basement. It's kind of like the upside down pyramid, right? And that's because builders can build cheaper, provide the square footage because above the garage is already there. They lift up the same roof. They put another level there. And so, you know, I'm seeing, so to answer your question, there's actually subcategories within categories. So they say it's a 2-story. I'm like, well, is it a salt box where it's straight up and down? Or is it one of these modified, you know, over the garage kind of 2 stories, which should sell for less because it's not a, you know what I'm saying? Or it has an unfinished basement, but this basement has 2,000 unfinished square feet versus the one down the street has 800.
Mm-hmm.
Big difference. Yeah. So I do look at that part. I don't necessarily put a value on it as much as I just want to make sure I'm comparing the same comparables.
I think a lot of times as realtors use it to our advantage if we need to. So if someone wants to list their house too high and say, oh my gosh, the square footage price is too much compared to everyone else. And if you're buying something, you're telling the seller, but geez, your square footage price is way too high compared to these other things. But square footage to me is it's what you put inside of it. You know, my example always is appliances. I mean, you can spend $4,000 or you can spend $80,000 and get the same exact number of pieces of equipment, but just different styles. I mean, you can get a GE refrigerator with no ice maker or water dispenser, or you can get a Sub-Zero refrigerator. And the difference is going to be, you know, $15,000 between the two. And you start adding those on. I mean, a range now is costing you between 10 and 15,000. I mean, the real nice ones.
Isn't that crazy?
You're quadruple, tripling what another cost is, and that doesn't get factored in the square footage price. So I think if you use square footage over a big swatch of homes, it can tend to work out. But there's going to be, like you said, there's going to be those little subs in there that some are going to be higher than the others because of exactly what I just said.
Well, you know that, and the fact is that consumer demand. I mean, there are some consumers, Chris, that just don't see the difference, and they're like, "Well, hey, my Wall Street builder built house, you picked the brand, is the same quality as your custom local guy that used custom cabinets, custom trim, you know, inlaid floors. And if you're that naive, then you know." A Kia is the same as a Mercedes. You know, it's like it's the same car.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm with you, buddy.
All right.
It's nice when we agree.
Well, I think we always agree. We just have different ways of saying it.
Oh. Okay. For over 50 years. Oh, I want to see how you say this. For over 50 years, the 30-year mortgage rate has moved in unison with the 10-year Treasury yield. Well,
yeah, the average spread is 1.27. But you know what's been interesting, Chris, is that if you look at that, chart when they recently went up, look at the gap and look at how much higher the mortgage rates are than the actual Treasury. It actually averaged 1.7, but I just talked about this 2 months ago. It's been averaging 3.9, the gap. So they're making yields on that what they're borrowing it at and what they're selling it for. You know, the mortgage companies, and oh no, we're not doing that. And I'm like, the yields are stupid big, and you're falsely raising the rates in anticipation of future rates going higher. You're not following the market. You're gouging the market is what you're doing. And then you're also afraid that if market rates drop, you guys are all going to refinance, and then you're going to leave us holding these notes. And so you're gouging us on the front end. I mean, it was for a while there, it was ridiculous.
That's what they're doing.
Yep.
You know, they're like, hey, people are going to refinance out of these anyways. Let's get them, you know?
Yeah, which is so silly.
Yeah,
I get to that point of where I start, not trying to be the conspiracy guy, but if we all know where the money's coming from, and then you let people get in between the two, they're greedy middlemen and these mortgage companies, and you kind of look at that and you go, okay, so yes, they're servicing the mortgage, yes, they're doing whatever, but it's like, come on,
yeah, Yeah, I think in a way when you said it, that who trusts anybody anymore? And I think a lot of people feel that way and aren't falling for a lot of this stuff because a lot of these things should have crippled us and stopped us. I mean, COVID for one should have just halted this whole real estate market, and the opposite happened, and raising all these rates, and everyone says, "Oh my gosh, it's horrible. We'll never sell another house again." And that's just not the case, But it has stopped people
Right.
from putting their house on the market, and that's the part that I'm going to be watching, is the inventory part, because that's always
Oh, for
obviously
sure.
if there's a lot more demand, the prices are going to go down. Just fact.
Agreed.
But it'll be
think
nice.
you
Yeah, people got to make their house nice again. You got to give a product that's worthy of the price. And
Good.
a lot of people try to just not do anything, and it's just sometimes it works, and so people
Hey.
keep doing it.
I think there's opportunities out there right now. If you've ever thought about opening a remodeling company, now is your jump in.
That's what I've been thinking about that. Just so you know.
I didn't just give away your idea, did I?
No. Oh boy, we got more. While the number of homes for sale is increasing, it's still 47% lower than it was before our little, I don't say that word, in 2017 to 2019. So yeah, it's obviously
we were kind of headed,
that's
if
what's
you looked
saving
at the
us.
numbers, in 2019, I think we were all a little queasy about what was kind of going on. And we weren't necessarily trending anywhere except for we're like, okay, rates are at rock bottom, nothing's happening. The market wasn't going up or down, it was kind of just floating. And it was weird, right? And it now is like worse than that, but we're like acting like it's okay. And it's like, but what is worse? So here's what I'd say to people. All these charts and all this BS, yes, we're filling conversation and we're talking about things. But when it comes right down to it, can you, in today's market, buy a house and sell a house successfully? Absolutely. Can you upgrade a house right now? Absolutely. Can you downgrade a house right now? Absolutely. Just get a professional to explain to you what the market means. Take a look at what does it mean to borrow money? What does it look like to pay all cash? Maybe you borrow from a savings account. Maybe you borrow from your retirement. Whatever that option might be, explore all of them and look at them and then really decide what's best for you, because there's no perfect time. You're never going to time the market. You're never going to sell at the top of the stock market the day that the thing went off the cliff. And yes, there's a few people, but it's not a good business plan. So what I always say is housing is subjective to your lifestyle and the situation you're in. Consult the professionals and navigate through it. It's not that bad. I actually do it every day, all day long. It's easy. I think today's market's actually very easy to navigate.
I'm with you, buddy.
Well, Chris, not to keep talking, but like everyone was like this weekend, they go, well, these houses seem to be higher. And I'm like, the new construction house you're standing in right now is $32,000 less than it was last fall. Fact. Rates are a little higher. We get it. But you also gained about $75,000 of appreciation in your existing house in that same period of time. You're still money ahead. Just put more money down. It's the same payment.
You got it.
Boom.
It's very true. I mean, and I think that's really our job, though, Andy. I mean, is to be able to kind of decipher that information that these people are all getting and be able to give them the reality, because I mean, that's a fact. And the other fact is yeah, your payment is going to be higher for a little while, but I'm betting by the time those new construction real taxes start hitting in a couple years, that you're probably going to be refinancing and getting that payment down. But in reality, your payments are down quite a bit more. I mean, your taxes make a huge difference in your payment. I mean, if they're $200 or they're $6,000, there's a big difference between those.
And I tell you, there's also the I call it the person that's in a race, right? Where they're like, hey, yes, I got a loan. I'm going to have this thing paid off in 10 years. Rates aren't as important to you. I mean, if you're paying 3 times a payment anyway per month to get that house paid off early or whatever you're doing, rates aren't as important as you would think they are, because the principal that you're paying in, you're not paying the interest on because it's coming in raw, right? Mm-hmm. It's only the money that you're paying back that has the interest on there. So it's like you can make the double payments and in theory cut that interest rate in a third by just paying the extra payments. Yeah. So it goes pretty quick. I mean, it's I've been around that Ramsey group, with Dave Ramsey, and a lot of their theories are, some people, they get scared of them because they're like, well, I don't want to put that kind of pressure on myself. But in reality is, yeah, there you go. Nice cue. the reality is that those guys are smart and they're helping you be smart with your money. It's kind of like having your rich uncle that it's not your uncle, and they kind of guide you through stuff. It's kind of cool.
Hey, Nick, bring that picture back up. Of course, I can't let that go without getting something in.
Please.
That smile on Dave's face and your missing arm. I don't know. Just looks.
Are you implying that I'm
I don't know. I'm
boosting
just
him?
saying. You had to get him to smile. Just saying. So.
Good thing. Well, they said I could have 30 seconds on the show for a quick ad. Andy Praske, Remax Advantage Plus, Andy@Praske.com if you want to email us. Here's the thing, 22 years in the business, over 1,400 sales. I'd like to help you with your real estate needs. If that's buying, if that's selling, if that's building, whatever it is, give us a call, send us an email. Let's get you started on your real estate journey. I'd like to help you on the way. Lots of experience here, and I would like to put it to work for you. Andy Praske, Remax Advantage Plus. Thanks for listening to the show. You didn't hear me, Chris. I said, as I was going on, I said, good thing there's no school today because you have no class. That was the fat elbow. Hey, I got something to say.
You got me. I was at my mom's place last night, and there must have been a bunch of kids that dropped off Valentine's, and there's this little card there from Finn, and I could have swore it was like Andy Praske telling a joke, and it was something something about a goalie and that he's a real keeper. I can't remember the dang joke, but it was a total Andy, the whole no school, you got class. Yeah, no class. Just saying. Okay, what are we talking about? Minnesota to ban corporations buying homes to rent out. Of course they are. Oh my God. Okay, this bill's just introduced. All right, they don't want corporations and businesses buying single-family homes to convert into rental units in an attempt to get more families into single-family homes and build equity. Great idea, but what does that do to the people that are selling their house that have maybe sat there for 20 years paying, and all of a sudden the best buyer is somebody else, and they don't get it. I mean, you're going down a horrible road there. So
I couldn't agree more, my friend. I think that's complete toilet paper. Flush it.
And what is a corporation too? I mean, is it Wall Street or is it Andy's LLC? Who's got 3 or 4 properties and he's just trying to make, some extra money and be able to rent out to people that aren't able to get a single family home or purchase one. I mean, you got to remember, a lot of these renters, it doesn't matter. They can't purchase it anyways. They don't have down payment. They don't have credit. They need a place in which to stay. They have life circumstances, and maybe they want to, they don't know where they're going to work, so it's like, why would I buy a house and only have it a year? Unless maybe my plan was, if I do get transferred out, I had a client like this. He said, I'm probably going to get transferred out, but then I could just rent it out until I come back. And it was a fantastic idea, but a lot of other people would have to turn around and sell that. Now, if you don't get the equity out of it, you still got to pay a realtor to get rid of it for you. You've got closing costs. I mean, you've got the pain of getting it ready and getting it on the market and getting it sold. So I just think that's a horrible, horrible plan, Minnesota.
Well, it's on a bill and it's from the Patch News or something. I mean, it's not like
did it say that was?
It's on a bill to be
little mute.
Official thing that got pushed. I'm gonna share you the real bill from the government right now.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all. I'll tell you that.
This is the whole bill right here.
HF 685.
Who proposed it?
His name was Tim.
I see.
Just kidding.
Mr. Walls himself. Yeah. Well, I mean, in theory, I'm sure they, it's from the let's let the underdog have a chance, but it's it doesn't. I hate to say it.
Frank was a great idea too.
Yeah.
But it doesn't work that way. Just let it happen, and it'll work. It just everyone tries to like push it somewhere. I mean, there's always loopholes around it. I mean, there's always loopholes, and then
Well,
people
back
figure it
in
out.
the old days, the municipalities that had trouble with rentals, there used to be a significant difference when you would be homesteaded versus non-homesteaded, and now that's really changed. So the cities that had a problem with it, they're like, well, we'll get these corporate owners. We're going to do double the taxes, and it's like, okay, so you double the taxes. I wonder who's
Double the
gonna pay
rent.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, the renter. Oh, that's right. So rents go up. Way to go, city.
It's the ultimate example. I mean, sometimes those taxes, when you had a non-homestead tax, it was 2.5 times. So if your taxes was $1,000, they ended up being 2,500, and
Yeah.
up to 3,000. And then all of a sudden, it's like, oh my gosh, now the rent just went up $100 a month. They thought
Well, I
that
think-
owners would do that. That would stop them from doing it. It's just.
I think what they should be doing then, if that's their real concerns, let's just not tax that property at all. Let's let them, because it is a rental, we want that to be affordable. Let's take the tax off the top, and let's not charge them property taxes. And then think about this. In theory, you'd have a rental property that could be available for less money for that person that actually needs it. But that's not what they want. They want the tax revenue.
Right. Well, we solved that problem.
This is really getting easy. We throw something else at us. Let's talk. What?
Should we go for politics, Andy? Should we run?
We'd get murdered. We'd be up there on the first day. You need to vote for it. And they're like, boo.
Yeah, we don't like no one not liking us. So
You two are out of touch idiots.
half the people would hate us, regardless. Whatever way you
that's
go.
okay.
Yeah.
I'd bring cookies
Has
to
the
all my
Minnesota-
festivals.
Oh,
Has the Minnesota government ever done anything positive for the real estate buying? Do you guys think of any bills or policies that actually worked in the years you've been in the business?
I don't know any. Just let it
Well,
go.
if you consider
Free
taxation,
enterprise is what I say.
it's all about
like that.
taxation, so they can have it's like the fat kid that wants more cake. I mean, they want more, and they keep taking more, and it's just they package it differently, so it fools you for a little while, and then you realize, oh my God, I'm giving them more cake.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? So it's like when you say housing, so some of the protective laws with like foreclosure and things like that, those are helpful bills for the consumer, where they don't just foreclose and it's the same day. It's actually a 6-month process, and there's a right to redeem, and there's all kinds of cool rights that way. I think there's some tenant laws that have been overwritten to the advantage of the tenant, where it makes it discouraging to want to be a landlord in some cases. But it is what it is. It's a business decision. Do you want to make widgets, or do you want to own rental properties? You still have the choice. You still have to provide for your family. So how do you want to focus your day? And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I get that's kind of a gray area. I don't want to get involved in that as much as, I think there should be some nice incentives right now. I mean, I start getting off on a tangent on municipalities that are why can't we have affordable housing here in, whatever city? Well, that's because you have $45,000 worth of fees associated with this lot for connection fees, transportation fees, park fees, trail and dedication fees, whack and sack, connection fees, trunk fees. I mean, all these fees these guys charge. I mean, I'm not kidding you. When you buy a single family lot, I bet you it'd be fun to see the report. I'm sure Batsy has done this and figured out how much it costs per city. But these cities make a killing. Yeah. And they're like, we don't know why these builders can't be affordable. Because you're being pigs. You're eating so much cake.
Yeah.
Come on. I get
We weren't even talking about guaranteed sale programs. My gosh.
I know. I got a little feisty there. I apologize to everyone listening.
Yeah, but it is true. It just gets old after a while, and after you see it over and over again.
I know.
I don't know. It's just frustrating.
Yeah.
We can say that
I was
now.
just 1 year old when my family started in real estate, where both my parents were agents. They also dabbled in investing in real estate, rentals, flips, and construction. After college, I went right into getting my license in July of 1990. As a 23-year-old agent in an industry that looks nothing like today, I had to know more for my clients to choose me. There wasn't Zillow or social media to tell them how good I was. I had to win them over with knowledge. With knowledge comes confidence, and with confidence comes results. I found
It's actually a really good commercial.
Yeah.
It really is. It's
I
part
like
of my it's part of my IMS, which is coming back.
Okay.
It's coming back, Andy. It's
I think
time
it's good.
time to do that mentorship. When I kicked off my IMS is Integrity Marketing Services, and it's basically helping realtors kind of get to their goals. So working basically individually on what they do well and kind of mentoring them to get to that point. But I started at March of 2020. And do you know what happened right after that?
I was
It said
there.
stay in your house. That was called COVID. And so I mean, we had a really good, a rocket start, and then I just let everyone off because everyone thought they were going to be broke and do it. But it's coming back. I'm making actually Nick and I have been working on this thing for 3 years, and it's someday I'll let you learn some stuff from it, Andy. It's
You
kind of
know,
guy.
I was perusing through the old YouTube this morning, and
Yeah.
I was sitting there, and all of a sudden, the real estate radio hour from 10 years ago pops up, and it's Life with Fife. And I sent it to you guys just so you could see it. It was the video where he was like introducing himself, where he's like, you walk in and go, I don't care how you do it. You got to figure out how to do this. And he goes, okay. And then he gets in a plane and jumps out of a plane.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
The guy actually had a friend, and he said, "You got to take me up in a plane." He took it serious. Remember when he was doing when he was rollerblading around the whole Minneapolis, trying to find me walking around the radio show?
Yeah. Where's Rooney?
Yeah. Hey,
Have you seen Chris Rooney? And they're like, who's Chris Rooney?
Fife learned a lot of that stuff from his father, and his father just passed away.
I
His
heard
service
that.
was
Yeah.
just last week. So big Fife.
Rest in peace.
What
my
a
friend.
guy. Yeah. That was fun. So, all right. What are we talking about now? Oh, social media. Let's go. Favela. Where are you? Favela. Is that what it is?
By the pool. The laptop fell in the pool again.
Favela. Okay. Well, he's lost. So we got to talk about something else. I don't know what happened to him.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we all need breaks, Chris. You really got to schedule these breaks in better.
On a live broadcast, it's probably smart not to do that on that.
Yeah, you should probably just have the milk jug, you know what I'm saying, and just take the break.
He's got his first game next weekend, by the way.
Oh wow, nice.
Yeah. So we'll
It's exciting, huh?
We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Yeah. I got an uncle that lives down there. I was gonna try to send him over there and take a look at it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know what we're reacting much to this. Let's see if you're around. He's around.
Hey,
what else? What else should we talk about, Andy? Oh, I think he's trying to come here. Hold on. So that's got to be coming from his internet, right?
Is the Folsom House? That's where it looks like it's spinning. Is that him?
Hey, I was at Red Robin the other day. They
Yeah.
had the coolest United States flag, and then it had like beer, like each state had like a beer label on it.
Oh wow!
It was really cool. Yeah, I kind of want.
You try all 50 states.
I want that thing. I don't drink beer though.
It's easy.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some of your friends will teach you.
Yeah, I think Nick went off to another. There's like 3 Nicks on my little screen.
In a perfect world, we'd love to be around 50, but it's not. It's probably not as realistic for you to consider something like that. Is there like a middle ground we can come to? I know you were at 70. I'm kind of at 50. Is there a middle?
So probably there's 20 prices between 50s and 70s. So it's starting from 51, ending with 69. So where you want to be?
I mean, hey, I'd love to get the property as cheap as I can. Let's be realistic here. I want to see if we can work something out that we're both comfortable taking, and it's a win-win for the both of us. I don't want to waste anybody's time here.
I understand you're trying to get a good price, best price.
And like I was saying, at 50,000, that's just where we know 100% that we wouldn't be losing any money whatsoever on this deal. But, you know, coming up 20, it's a little bit unrealistic. Maybe like 62.5. Can you work with us around there?
I'm sorry, but 62.5 is going to be a no.
And basically what I'm getting at is, you know, if we can't do 70, you know, it's a done deal.
I mean, look, if 69.5 is gonna make you comfortable,
You're killing me, Cornell.
I really like negotiating because when I buy something, I negotiate too, right?
Let's make something happen. You want to move closer to Florida? You gotta.
You can hear my honesty, right? You.
Yeah, I can hear. By the end of this year, 1031 that money into a new property. I mean, let's agree on 65. Come on, what do you say, Cornell? You're a reasonable guy. You know where I'm coming from.
That's probably gonna be a no, Cameron.
In a perfect world.
Huh.
That was interesting how young that kid was. But I mean, you know, all he's doing is he's trying to get that price for the lowest he can. Then he's going to sell it over to me and Andy as a flip for a little more and just kind of get the premium. Never has the money to be able to even purchase it. And he just flips it and puts it over to another person.
Yep.
And it's a great thing. Hey, if you're smooth and you're on the phone and you can get those deals, there's buyers all day long for that stuff.
Sure. Yeah, hustling people properties is not a new game. That's just they keep repackaging. Now they call it wholesaling.
Yeah.
Before they used to call it flipping or equity stripping. They
Yeah.
just depending on the situation you're in. I mean, it's been packaged as a lot of different things, but it taco's a taco, but it.
And as a realtor, we have really tough laws and ethics on what we can do and say. I mean, we basically have to tell people you're absolutely nuts to sell it to us for this because we're going to make money and you're going to lose money and your grandkids aren't going to get anything. And it's just kind of like you have to really, really let them know and then write it over everything. And then if they ever complain about it, you have to give them more money. I mean, it's crazy what realtors have to do. I would definitely suggest if you're going to be a flipper, is to not be licensed realtor. Don't do it. You have so many more abilities without being a licensed realtor. And everyone thinks, "Oh, I'll save the commission and I'll do."
Yeah, but what is it? You have to do under 20 deals a year.
What's that? For yourself?
There's a cap though. You can't act like.
That's if you're selling your own house. I'm just saying. So I would still have a realtor do my things for me, but me as a buyer, I don't have to tell them nothing. I can buy 7 million houses if I want. And it's just like that realtor's representing me. I'm not doing it myself. So,
Yep.
All right. Me bathed in tears of everyone who's been saying the real estate market is going to crash for the past 5 years.
Yeah.
Little guy there. It's not the truth.
That's that guy in a turkey. He's a grown man. He's miniature.
Yeah.
He's the one that slapped Shaq in the face.
Yeah.
And Shaq is the old.
You guys all see these things. I got to look at social media more often. I don't ever see these. I didn't see Shaq. All I saw is Shaq, Kenny, the Jet knocked him into the tree, the Christmas tree. That was fantastic. I had never seen that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
Oh boy. A reminder that I saw real estate thinly disguised as Happy St. Patrick's text. Every person I've ever talked to since 4th grade. Oh boy, Andy, here's another one. We got to explain. You got to explain it to me.
I don't get it either.
Yeah, let's put it back on. We got to figure it out.
Realtors always messaging like, "Hey, happy holidays," just to like make sure your name is in their head, for future business.
And they're running because we're embarrassing ourselves.
It's true. That's true.
I did laugh. Last weekend when the old clocks did the old change, and how many emails I got. And it's like, I'm like, you guys do know that my iPhone does that automatically, right? I'm good.
I like it. I like it when there's a certain lender that does it for all their people, and 3 of those lenders have got me on their list, and so I get whack, 3 of the same email. I just love that.
Yeah.
I don't get rid of it because I think that's just funny.
It is funny.
I always just don't think that's genuine. I've always had a problem with those programs because I just think they're just fake. But anyways.
Well, it is what it is. I mean, if you put a little real estate on there too, it's like kind of like anything else in real estate. Top of mind awareness is one thing. That's like with social media. You get a lot of social media experts to tell you what to do, and it's like, yeah, but I don't want to be top of mind just to be top of mind. I'm not trying to be famous. I want to be top of mind at the right time so that when they're ready to buy or sell, they say, oh yeah, that's my guy Andy, right? So it's like, for me, it's a balancing act, like you just said, Chris, where I don't want to put everything out there all the time and be that, oh my God, just block him, right? Because that's not what I'm trying to do. And I know a lot of real estate agents struggle with that too, because for friends of theirs will falsely give them the impression that they're looking at it. Oh, I love your postcards you send every month, reminding me of the recipes and the whatever, and that's just so nice. You're like, well, you do, huh? How come you haven't referred anybody to me then?
Yeah. I actually think that whole recipe card thing, I always I would never do that. And then I'm like, it's actually not a bad idea. If they're kind of like cool recipes, I mean, that is kind of fun. Even if you did your own. I mean, like you could do your bacon wrapped, whatever it is, because everything you do is bacon wrapped. But
no, not anymore.
Get the stuff, and I mean, you do some cool things with cooking.
Yeah. I when I take the time to focus, I like to have some fun with it. But it's I think the big thing is like you look at, like I do a postcard, but my postcard's for $10 off at your favorite restaurant or whatever. You know what I mean? Like I try to give things of value, so at least they keep it. You know what I mean? Like it's not just I don't know. Oh, impression, chuck it.
It's a good idea. And then when they bring that coupon in and hand it over to them, they see Andy again. They keep seeing Andy. Pretty soon you're going to have billboards.
Andy delivers value.
Pretty
soon. Then they go, this is a fake coupon. And then I run because fake coupons.
Andy who? What? This expired 7 years ago. Jeez.
We don't have any coupons, Rooney, at Manny's. This looks fake.
Hey, 50% off at Manny's. Yeah. That would be the ultimate. You go there, what?
Here's my
you would
coupon.
Be remembered.
Yeah.
Hey, they say, but however you get remembered, it doesn't matter. If it's good or bad. So
I disagree, but okay.
You should.
I bought a $12 million ranch in Montana at age 22, and here's how you can do it.
What?
What did I do?
More expensive, younger age, cooler property.
Okay. I bought a $48 million seaside log cabin castle in Montana at age 5. I bought it because I qualified for a loan.
Oh my God!
What was it that time?
No loans.
But how else?
Arbitrage.
What does that even mean?
Literally, no one cares.
Fine. I arbitraged 8 different condos in the Baltimore area, flipped them, and sold the land to the Irish mafia. Wait a minute. Did we demolish those condos?
Yeah, arbitrage.
Is that what arbitrage means? I don't think.
Hold on. The police is calling me.
Oh, the police are calling. Okay, cool. Like I was saying. Wait, who's calling you?
That was kind of funny.
That was good.
Yes, I appreciate that one. That's our humor.
Oh my God, that is so. But that's so true. I mean, it's what a lot of realtors do. I mean,
younger and more money. Yeah, it's like I'm 8. I still don't understand why that makes a significant difference, other than wow, impressive.
Yeah. Well, it is. I mean, it's people. I mean, in the digital world are easily persuaded to do different things. I mean, it's crazy.
Well, look at what you and I do to these digital videos, though. I mean, we both go, "Oh, that wouldn't work. That's crap. That's and I'm like, there's no cops out there policing that stuff, so they're literally filling information that's kind of true."
Yeah, I think the whole social media thing would be fun if you did it something like that kid did. I mean, just kind of making fun of the whole thing instead, and then maybe throw something at the end that gives it a little credibility. But I think that'd be a good one.
Yeah,
so
I liked it too. It was good.
So.
Good job, Nick.
Oh, look at him. He's still
Hi,
there.
guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
See.
Is it glitchy? No, I'm gonna show you outside here.
Oh wow. We're going to the favela, Andy. Oh my. Where is my little boy?
You can
Oh
see
my
decent?
God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Is that the Airbnb you're staying in?
yeah, behind me, and then upstairs is where the owners stay.
Do you
Oh,
see the
really?
look of concern on our face, Nick?
Yeah, I'm out here.
He
I'll go
still
back
looks
on the other
happy,
end.
Andy. Hey, your internet was better. You might want to stay out there.
I don't. I get it out, but good.
Yeah, maybe not. So, all right, Andy. What?
I guess we all have different perceptions as to what's out there, but that I think it's cool that I'd like to see that area. I like I said, I have an aunt is out there and living a new life and loving it, and just as like they said, it's different.
I think that's a little different than that one pool on the rooftop he was showing us before. I think I don't know what's going on, Andy.
Yeah.
I think he's playing us just like that last guy.
Yeah.
So I was
this is getting ugly right here. Mortgage rates tumble as the banks fell, down 13 basis points yesterday. What's that going to cause? A surge in mortgage applications, a surge in pending deals, and closings. There's so much pent-up demand, it's not even funny. We had a very decent inflation report today. Inflation is easing, continuing to ease, the 8th month in a row that it's come down, but we're still waiting on that May 10th incredible report. So if you ain't selling, you ain't telling. Get out there and grind, guys.
That's a motivational guy there.
Yeah.
So I think that's that one speaks for itself. Unless you have some comments on there, Andy.
No, I think that again, there's this perception that there's a timing thing in our industry, in our world, and again, it comes back to where if you come into it from I'm going to do this instead of investing into this, I'm going to buy real estate. They're trying to time the market, buy perfect, sell high, make money. And nothing beats time in the market, though. You know what I mean? It's like the good old buy it right, nice neighborhood, good schools, hold it. And that's how most people make fortunes in real estate. It's not a quick flip. It's not a quick, answer. I mean, unless you're remodeling and flipping something, or buying an apartment and redoing the whole place and selling it for more. But I mean, very rarely do you see that,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like I don't look at the interest rates and say, man, I better go buy something today. They went down 1/4 of a point. It's a bigger play.
Yeah, it might get you looking, but yeah, it's not gonna. That's really true. But we had 2 people stop looking as the rates started creeping up, which that hadn't happened to me before. And 2 stopped, both signed 1-year leases, and hey, they both lost multiple times in multiple offer situations. So, but that happens. Do what's best for you.
Lisa, front door.
Oh, he's talking to Lisa.
I just said front door. I got a notification. Somebody buzzed our door.
Oh, really? Okay. All right. What do we got here? Is first home isn't your forever home obsolete? First home isn't your forever home. In Minnesota, is it wise to invest in a larger starter home if the interest is to stay in the same neighborhood for a while? We don't know that. Friends and family are finding themselves locked into their starter homes due to the rising house costs in their neighborhood, unable to afford. Hashtag, listen to what Andy said in the first 10 minutes of the program. Start a remodeling company, because that's what people are doing. They're adding on to their starter home.
For sure.
If you're borrowing that money, that rate's going up, but as well. So that's even more than what your other rate was. But hey, it is what it is. I don't know. I think people, it's about life changes and what you can and can't afford. I mean, I've been dealing with it for years, obviously doing this now 33 years. There are some people, I mean, there's one, he's a good buddy of mine that I sold my house 2 years in, and he stayed in that same house. There's other ones that I've sold 6 houses to. Myself, since 1990, I've moved 21 times. So everyone kind of is kind of their own thing. And it really was, I mean, in my situation, a lot of times was my clients were the right buyers for my house. So I'd let them have my house and I'd go get it something else. And but a lot of times it's, you know, it's location and where do I live, or what kind of lifestyle do I want? You know, I live on the lake now. Used to live on acreage, had a place on the golf course. You know, you start getting those different places. It's more of a lifestyle theme than, you know, what is that worth to you? That's what I say. It's like living on the lake. I mean, that's important to you, and to be able to see it every day. Some people want to live on the lake, and some people have a cabin that they'll go up to it and want to totally get away, and you're on the lake. Well, what if you wanted to experience that life every single day? Or do you experience it the same way every single day? Or do you have to get away to be able to enjoy it? So I think it's everyone's kind of choice on what they want to do. So
I agree. I think it's smart though. I always, but I'm a planner, so I would be thinking ahead a little bit, you know. But now, if you're already engaged, that's different than if you're just dating somebody. Because if you're dating somebody and then that's not the same person that you marry that is going to move into that house, sometimes people don't like to move into that house, and so you'll end up moving anyway. So they want to get a house for the both of you, not the house that you had with your old girlfriend. So as they say. So, you know,
friends, plural, girlfriends.
Right.
Because the girlfriends are fine. It's just when you get that wife.
Yeah. Then it really matters. Sticky. Anyway, no. So, you know, I think that it's just a matter of, you know, if you know that you're young, you're engaged, you're planning on getting married, you're going to have a couple kids. I'd buy the house that would accommodate that for the next. Then it just takes the stress off of having to think about it for the next couple of years. You know, if you're buying a little bit bigger. But I've always bought within my means, though. I've never been one that I recommend first-time buyers, you know, extend themselves more than what they're comfortable with. You know, and that's kind of the key thing, because I think some people think that everybody's out there, you know, right now buying beyond their means, and they're not necessarily. It's the ratios are getting pushed right now, but
yeah, I'm seeing that they're not. I mean, rates. I mean, in qualifying, you can qualify for a lot more than you used to be able to, depending on what your credit rates are. But I think a lot of people are staying under that. They're not pushing it.
Yeah. Yep. I agree.
All right. Oh, role play. What is this?
Oh God.
Oh, this is you, Andy. You get to defend the benefits of your company. I'm listing my house, and I'm just not so sure your company sells in this area. So I want to know why you think that is the case. I should use you.
I was gonna say something funny like "go to hell" or
I don't want your listed anyways.
Just throw stuff and jump up and say, "Then fine, we won't be your company." No.
Well, it does say that. I mean, in this area, Edina Realty and Keller Williams sells more houses than Remax does.
I don't know what to tell you. No, it depends, man. I mean,
we suck. We suck.
Yeah, no, it depends. I mean, just because somebody has bigger market share doesn't mean that they're necessarily better. It just means that they're more available and they're present in that marketplace. Now, I find that sometimes when you have the same marketing company, the same predominant players in a marketplace, they actually can hold back on equities because they try to make their jobs easier. Where they're like, well, that house down the street sold for 500. We're going to go 505 versus I'll come in and I'll go 525. I'm not afraid to upset the apple cart and push a little harder to make your equity dreams come true. Now, on the other hand, if you want to go with complacent, steady Eddie that has been pushing that area for a long time, I understand that. But people that go to that area, they shop in that area after they've already selected it. So I feel that the area, it's not as similar as it used to be, where when the internet was a mystery and people had to like get in the car and drive around and they didn't know the area as well. I think the area is already selected. They come and now they're shopping for the house. I'm a housing marketing expert, so that's where you're going to shine. So I'll give a fresh marketing approach to a market that's probably been the same for many years with this dominant company that's there, and I'd love to give you a shot at seeing what that looks like.
Nice, but I mean, are these companies selling more because they have more marketing? Is that the reason that they sell more houses than you?
No, they don't sell more than me.
Well, it says that I get letters all the time that says these guys are the top 2 sellers in this whole area.
Well, that and the internet are full of a lot of mysteries that are claims that are made, and I'd like to see where the facts are coming in on that. Like compared to what? At what price point? At what? And sometimes you're going to see where people want to be number one because they perceive that you'll see value in that. And what you really want to know is that somebody's going to stick up for you, your personal values, your goals, and make sure that you're getting everything you possibly can get out of this transaction and have a wonderful experience. And that's what I can do better than that.
You're good at this. I think it's one of those things that what I feel is that you've obviously done this before. You've gone through objections. You've learned how to kind of get over those. You kind of lead it to what you do good, and then let them make the decision. So
I just had a buddy of mine that we were out at R4, and we were saying, for our teams, it's really good to role play. And he mails me this right here. Sales objection flashcards from the Fitzpatrick's team they're out in Maryland. And it's really an interesting, you just go through these scenarios and it says role play, because there's nothing better for a real estate agent than to actually talk about something out loud. It makes you think, it makes you do. It's like shooting free throws. You think these guys in the NCAA tournament this weekend coming up here, do you think they practice, or do you think they just show up and they're good? They practice. They're right now shooting free throw. They're like, hey, little Billy, you only have a 63% free throw average. We want that up to 80 or what, you know what I mean? And then the really good guys are like at 76%. And it's because they practice. So that when all the pressure in the world's on them, like that customer's just grilling them, they're smooth and they're cool because they know what to do. They know what to say. They're very confident in what, their process is, right?
Andy, I just went through your house, and I know you said at the beginning that you just didn't want to put a lot of money into it, that you basically want to sell as is. And I'm just trying to find out, is that still the case, right? From what you said?
Yes, I believe I do want to sell as is.
Okay. So what does as is mean to you? Because in the real estate world it might be a little different than what you're saying. Does as is mean to you that once the transaction's final, you don't want nothing coming back after you? Or does as is mean, you know what, Chris, you can put up a sign today and we'll get this thing sold?
Yes.
Okay. So
I just want to not have to worry about it. I just want to throw the sign in the yard, get the thing sold, get it behind me so I can move to Vegas where I can shine.
Okay, awesome. All right, so looking at that and based on what needs to be done, we're probably going to be around 350. I know you were talking like 425, but with what needs to be done, and if you don't want to do anything, we're 350 will probably work really well, and I could probably even get a couple investors in here right away to be able to make an offer on this property if you want to do that.
Am I supposed to be drilling you?
You're supposed to be. I'm trying to convince you to do repairs to your house to make more money. Can't you read that little thing on the bottom?
Oh yeah, I got it. So the I didn't know my role.
Look at your flashcards. Come on, what the heck? Pull up those flashcards.
It says to make a quick exit left. Exit stage left.
So you want to go? You want to sell it for 350? Because I'll tell you what. In fact, I'm not going to bring people. I'll buy it myself.
If I'm going to wholesale it, then is the buyer paying you or am I paying you?
What do you mean by that?
If I'm wholesaling it that cheap, I'm giving it away. Obviously, you're not doing any value for me other than bringing me the buyer. So the buyer is going to benefit and make all the profit. So do they pay you or do I pay you?
No, the value is in getting your home sold. You are the one that's going to be paying, my fee to be able to get that person in here. But I'll tell you what, I just think it's really important to be able to do these repairs, to be able to get the most you can. And I think that's when you're talking about value and paying me, is what you will pay me for is to be able to get you the most amount of money. So is the reason that you don't want to do this is because you just want to be gone? Or is it that maybe money is a little tight and you don't want to really invest in it because you're not sure how much you're going to make?
I'm saving all my money to go to Vegas.
That's smart. I mean, if you're going to go on the tables, that's really smart. Do you blackjack or craps? Which one do you do?
I'm thinking I'm just gonna go and do the old slot machines. I got a
Slot
good
machine.
feeling about slot machines right now, Chris.
What casino would you choose when you go there?
Probably the most expensive, probably Bellagio. You know,
And probably the reason you went to Bellagio is because of how nice it looked and showed value there. That's just like your house. We got to do the same thing with your house. If we can make it look like Bellagio and not Circus, you're going to get a lot more money.
so
The
you want
prime
me to
ribs
spend
better at
all my
Bellagio.
money-
What?
You want me to spend all my money to get my house ready to sell?
I want to be able to get you more money because I want you in the penthouse at the Bellagio too, not just gamble at the bottom. We can get you enough money to be able to get you upstairs.
Okay, I'll do that then.
So it's all about Vegas and getting the money. But Andy, that is the case. Is
You had me at
that
penthouse
a lot
suite.
of people-
I was in. I was like,
a lot of people don't have vision, and so we got to kind of help them that way. So, and if there's a problem with money,
Well-
maybe there's a way we can get that for you.
well, don't you think though, too, Chris? That a lot of people think the market's hot and they don't have to care, and they literally like,
Yes.
I don't. The market, it's going to sell anyway, so who cares if there's a big stain in the carpet or
Right. And the thing is to me, it's kind of like, you know what? Hey, we can find out. But when we find out, it's too late. Your house has already got, a label on it. And now we're going to have to kind of regroup and take it back. We have a listing just like that. I ended up buying it because it just was one of these situations where just it didn't quite hit. And we maybe priced it a little too high and it kind of got down. And it's like, we have to give it a whole new purpose now and a whole new look because it just sat and it got stale. So, yeah. All right, Andy, we're done.
I tell you, I don't think a lot of people realize how that does really affect. I mean, it can. And I think that there's, people get into multiple offers. Very rarely are there multiple offers over fixer-uppers. They're in multiple offers over the one that's been repaired and fixed up. And, I just was reading a report of that where they're talking about some of the best returns and, on different items in your houses. And there's all kinds of good information out there. I'd go to the Remodelers magazine is a good one. Builder Online is another one where they have like the return on investment for remodelers, so Builder Magazine or whatever it's called. So, take a look at that. And
Okay, Andy, do you know we have a link tree?
I did.
And it's right down there. That's where you can find everything about us in our little group and our individual selves. So Andy doesn't know this, Nick doesn't know this, but we're gonna be adding some serious flair to this show. It's gonna get a little risque coming up.
Well,
We'll find that on Linktree.
Just follow us. Follow us.
Do it.
And help us, and then
We're gonna do it. We're gonna.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Real Estate Radio Hour. Don't forget to visit our website, realestateradiohour.com, where you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, or your preferred podcast listening app. If you enjoyed today's episode, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes or sharing us with a friend. Until next time, stay awesome, Twin Cities.